What is up, everyone? We are live once again on this Wednesday with another Niner Sickness podcast and Niner Fanatic podcast show coming at you with my boy Pete. What's up, Pete?
What's going on, Beto? Good to be here. Just coming down off of our July 4th. I know everybody had their fill of barbecue probably over the weekend and over the last couple of days. So I'm just trying to come down from the high.
I hear you, bro. I hear you. Same here. What's up, Luis Moreno's first runner up? Coming in the comments. How you doing, sir? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream.
Absolutely.
She's been quiet while I was doing the setup, getting everything ready. As soon as I went live, it's like she knows it's live. I'm live. Hey, go back to sleep. Uh, how's everybody doing? I hope everyone had a great, wonderful 4th of July weekend. I know a lot of us had to go back to work today and go back to real life, but I hope you guys had a wonderful. Some of you guys had a 3 day weekend. Many of you had a 4 day weekend. Whatever it was, I pray that you guys had a great weekend. Great 4th of July fireworks. Whether you barbecued, went out, ate inside, whatever it is. Most importantly, spending time with the familias is where it's at. So I hope you guys had a great time. What did you do for fireworks there, Pete?
I let my kid go out there and I drank whiskey sodas. like
Whiskey
uh,
sodas,
I'm
huh?
not the biggest explosion pyromaniac person. My wife is all into that stuff. So I was into the barbecue like I talked about earlier, and the and my Tullamore Dew sodas.
There you go. What kind of whiskey?
Tullamore Dew.
Tomar do.
It's
Okay.
like a Irish whiskey.
Irish. I'm not a whiskey guy. I don't drink alcohol, but
Yeah.
um, what's up, rock star guy? Is in the house. How you doing, sir? Yeah, we have fireworks. We watched fireworks. We didn't do anything. Our neighbors, our neighbors, plural, are obsessed with going against each other and who has
Oh
the
yeah.
better. Kind of reminds me of Chevy Chase in the Christmas show he did, where he trying to get a house all lit up to kind of go,
Mhm.
go against his neighbors. Well, that's
Yeah.
how my neighbors are. They're always trying to go against each other. So meanwhile, we just really just keep back and enjoy them go at each other, enjoy their fireworks.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're not burning the house down.
Yeah,
But I mean, yeah, they were going. My neighbors were going off until well into it was after midnight. So
yeah. 2 o'clock in the morning, you still hear boom,
yeah,
boom. I'm like, cut it out now. All right, go to bed. Tomorrow's Wednesday.
at a certain point, you're just hoping that it's fireworks.
Yeah. No shit, huh? Um, my goodness. For those that don't know, many of you do, but for those that don't know, me and Pete, we had a little bit of a contest last week on the show. We decided to pick uh, different players from a certain genre, like from 1995 to present. We picked quarterbacks, receivers, tight end, running backs, a defense, and a head coach, and then we put them amongst each other on Twitter. And Twitter went crazy
I mean,
and,
crazy.
and voting one another. And a lot of people were yelling at. It's funny because I should have put that part on there and I didn't, but a lot of people were yelling at Pete. Why does how did you get Garcia over Montana? But he
Yeah,
couldn't get Montana because he played. He didn't play after '95, and it was from 1995 up. So
yeah.
he had to go
Which
with Garcia.
and it gets real slim pickings after after Steve Young. So I mean, it is what it is. I think, and I thought about the reality was is I was thinking about my coach. I have Shanahan as the coach, who I picked first, and the I thought, okay, well, which of these quarterbacks? I got too much into my head and started thinking that people were going to actually look at it as like, oh, well, which quarterback fits best in Shanahan's system, and uh, and yeah, it was just too much in my head. I probably would have if I could have ran it back, I probably would have picked Kaepernick as because at least he would have had athleticism or something. But it is what it is.
Yeah. And I mentioned you. Remember, I mentioned Kaepernick, but you wanted Garcia.
Well, I thought Garcia was a better fit in Shanny's offense, but we're not playing like it's not reality,
No,
and we're doing it
they're just going by names,
for
bro.
votes. Like, yeah, it turned out to be more of a popularity contest around Steve. As soon as they saw Steve Young, like that was a wrap. I mean, because there's no really Montana's the only person that really could even vibe like contest against Steve Young. So
Yeah, yeah. Although Steve Young's better, but we'll say that for another show.
okay, we definitely have to have a show about that then.
Well, I think Dan Marino's better than Joe Montana.
Mm,
And
I
don't
mean, it's
count
possible.
the Super Bowls.
Yeah, no. Yeah. I mean, you could say better. You could say better, but just because, but we'll never really know because we'll never really know what he would have looked like in Walsh's system. But I mean, you got to give Marino his due because I mean, he never, as many years as he played, never had 1,000-yard rusher.
Nope.
Like it's crazy to
And
think of.
never had a defense either.
And who was his best wide receiver? Dick Penn,
That's
maybe?
it. Probably, yeah.
And like yeah.
And he was
It's
throwing like a madman over there.
yeah, he was today's quarterback in an era where they didn't throw the ball.
Yep.
And yeah, it was I mean, so you got to give him his props. I don't know what he would have been like under Walsh. Like but who knows? I don't know that he was better than Montana. Montana was just clutch.
He
He was just
was.
clutch.
But he had a lot of surrounding cast around him too.
True. Not
Now
when he
I
first
always
got.
like
Not
to
when he first got there.
no. But I always like to ask people this. If you put Montana in the Miami's era of Marino and put Marino in the Niners, I think Marino would have had at least 4 Super Bowls as well.
Mm.
I don't know if Montana would have had one over there with no 1,000-yard rushers.
I don't know because Montana was doing it he did it in college, and like and he was like I mean it's an interesting thing to think about, but like I just
Whoa. Easy there,
no come
Moreno.
on
There's no
Jim
way Jim
Kelly.
Kelly was better than Marino.
Now you want to talk about a beneficiary of weapons just everywhere. Like Jim Kelly was that guy. Like he had the
And
running
he
back.
couldn't even win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and that was in the era where, like, I mean, you could, as a quarterback, win a Super Bowl on your own.
How do you get to 4 times in a row
Yeah,
and
it's
not win it?
just terrible luck. Like, I mean, terrible luck because he had to come. He had a team. They had a squad for years. But yeah, Marino, he was great. Like, he was great, and you'd like to think that he would have, like you said, dominated with Bill Walsh. But I think there's a lot of guys that would have dominated with Bill Walsh. And but I just think I think
Not Nick
Joe.
Mullins.
Well, you never know. You don't know that. Like
No,
he would have been asked.
I can feel safe to say he wouldn't.
Ah, I mean,
Tim
he
Rattay?
like Will Walsh really succeeded with anybody that was like almost everybody that was in that system. Like once they figured out that system, being because Steve Bono came in, what little to no drop off. Like they were actually questioning whether he needed to be the starter at a certain point, and then you had who else?
Well,
Elvis
that
Gerbach,
offense got Gorbag. I can't pronounce his last
or
name.
maybe he was with Seifert, but
Oh, was he?
I think he might have been like right as soon as Seifert took over, but it might be he might have been there with Walsh, but Elvis Gerbach was another guy.
Elvis. That's the yeah.
Yeah,
He got paid. Went to
yeah,
how many quarterbacks went from the Niners
to the
to
Chiefs,
Kansas City? Oh my god!
like
You had
every single one.
you got one. What's the name? I can't think of his name, but he was quarterbacking before Montana got there.
Before Montana got there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Steve
Yeah,
DeBerg.
yeah, DeBerg,
Yeah, Steve
DeBerg.
DeBerg. And then he went there,
Yeah.
and then Montana went there, and then uh, Goldberg, and then Alex Smith. So
Mm.
4 quarterbacks that went there. What's up, Brad? How you doing? Welcome to the show. We got
What's
Brad in the
going on,
house.
Brad?
He's one of the guys that playing fantasy football with us. Oh, by the
Oh,
way,
cool, cool.
anybody that wants to play fantasy football, let me know. We're doing a fantasy football. Entry is $25. First place gets I wrote it down. There's first, second, and third place winner. Um I'll have to look it up,
I
but
think you said it was like 300 or something like that.
yeah, yeah. So it's a first, second, and third. So you got to figure 12 teams is 300 total. So it's 25 for third, 75 for second, and 18, 225 for first place. So something around there. But three people, at least if you win up third place, you get your money back.
Mm.
So if you're interested, hit me up and we'll get you in there. Welcome, Brad. Yeah, so I felt bad for Steve DeBerg, man. He goes to he loses his job to Joe Montana. He lost his job to
You know,
John Alway, Joe Montana.
yeah. But he
Uh
had plenty of opportunities because Montana didn't start until what? His third, I think it was his third year there.
yep.
So, I mean,
But he
he had
was
plenty
shipped
of,
out. What was it his third? I thought it was a second year.
it might have been his second. Like, I think he got a chance to start a couple of games his second year, but I think it was his third year where he was like officially started the
Because
season as the starter.
Joe Montana got there in 79 and we were in the Super Bowl in 81.
Yeah.
So 80, he's still so
79,
I think
80, and
I
then at
think
the
Joe
end of
Montana
80.
started at the end of 80
Yeah. At the end of
and
80, and then
and all
81 he
81.
came in. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm not mistaken.
I'm
What's up,
pretty
Don?
sure.
Welcome to the podcast. Good to see you. And we got a Facebook user. Unfortunately, doesn't let us know your name. Please identify yourself after the comment. We would appreciate it. And Don says, hello, my big brother, Niner Beto. And then she says hello to Pete,
Oh, appreciate you.
the man. Make sure to follow Pete.
Please.
His channels in the description below. Make sure to click on it. Support the channel if you're not part of it. We're doing a combination of two channels together on Wednesdays, but he does his own thing
Mhm.
throughout the week. He has guests. He does his own shows. So make sure to follow him and support his channel. And we would appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And it says, okay, what's up, Joey? Welcome, welcome. Thank you for identifying who you are. And Don says she follows you as
Oh,
well.
appreciate you, Don.
Show him this. She's been following me for a long time. She's a great gal, man. A lovely mother of two little girls, um, and a husband that we're trying to work on bringing him from the dark side. He's a Raider fan.
Ugh.
We're trying to convert him to the Niners. He's almost there, right, Don?
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
I know.
everything's not perfect all the time. Like in
No,
marriage, there's some give and take, right? Like so this is a part where he has to give.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
he
yeah,
needs to give.
because Don would definitely take
Yeah, exactly.
for sure. What's up, Roberto Hastings is in the house. What's up,
Oh,
brother?
Dion. What's going
We
on,
got
Dion?
Dion in the house. What's up, Dion? Welcome, welcome. Dion is in the house. So, my goodness, let's reminisce a little bit of the early '80s and '90s,
Mm,
bro. Uh, for
Tecmo
the
Bowl.
first Super Bowl, we didn't have Brent Jones. We
No.
didn't have Jerry Rice.
Nope.
We didn't have Roger Craig. We had Tyler, I believe is his name,
Yeah. Dwight Clark,
Dwight Clark as a
uh,
receiver.
Freddie Solomon.
Freddie Sim, he was our number one receiver. Our tight end was Francis.
Yeah, I want to say. Um,
That's going back.
yeah.
Let me ask
We're
you.
talking about 1980, or is that what we're
Yeah,
talking
the
about?
first Super Bowl, 81.
81. I
You
gotta look
bringing
it
it
up.
up?
Yeah, I gotta look it up. Like, because I mean, I was 4. I think I was 4 at the time, but Yeah, yes, I am old, but
You were
yeah,
four. You're not older than me.
I
No,
was
you're not
4.
four.
Yeah, I was 4
No, you weren't. I
in
was.
81. In 81, I was 4.
I'm thinking. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking 71. Never
Oh yeah,
mind.
no,
I was
no,
11
no,
in
I wasn't
in
even thought of
81.
yet.
I was
Like in
11 in 80.
71.
Yeah, yeah. You were 8. I'm my bad.
Oh, they
Yeah,
had
I
Earl
know
Cooper.
my age.
They had Earl Cooper
Yeah.
and yeah, Ricky Patton.
Who were the corners in 81?
Mm. Um, where is it? Corners. There was Eric Wright
Eric Wright.
and Ronnie Lott was the corner. He was a
Okay, this
corner
is
back
before they
then
moved
because
him to
I think that was
safety.
his. Was that his rookie year?
Don't quite remember.
81. I want to say 81 was his rookie year because he came in the league as a corner,
Yeah,
and
from USC.
yeah, yeah, he was
A lot of
22.
people forget that. They always say he was a safety. I go, yes, he was, but he came in. We drafted him as a corner.
Yeah, yeah. It looks like those two. I mean, they started all 16
Dwight Hicks.
games. Uh, yeah, Dwight Hicks was there as the free safety. Um, Keena Turner,
The
right outside
linebacker,
linebacker.
inside linebacker.
Carlton Williamson was our strong safety at the time. Um, yeah, Jim Stuckey, and I mean, I would say looking at this, that like, I mean, the fact that I think that people forget. I think that people forget. They look at what the Niners are known for, the high powered offense that they had back then with Montana. You think of Jerry Rice, you think of Roger Craig, and you think, but that people forget that that Montana won 2 without all those guys. Like he won 2 without them, and Jerry only has 3. And yeah, so like, I mean, literally, he had Dwight Clark and Freddie Solomon, and that was about it. Like, there wasn't really much. The so Montana was really he was just a clutch player, and that's why I say I don't know how great. That's why I say I don't know how great that what's his name, Marino would. I don't know that he was greater than Montana, because Montana did it with he almost got the Chiefs to the Super Bowl too after he was older. So yeah, I don't know. I think at Montana, I'm always a Montana guy. I
I can
just
see that.
Yeah, I just think that he was much more clutch when you needed him. He was going to make a play.
Well, he was the 2 minute guy, for sure.
Yeah.
You were down by 7 or down by 6 in the 2 minute drill.
Mm-hmm.
You had to hold your breath, man, because
Yeah.
whenever Montana had it come up, the game wasn't over. If you thought it was over, talk to Cincinnati and Coach. What was his name? Uh,
That guy. I know exactly who you're talking about,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
can never remember his name.
He thought he had it in the pocket, and that drive down the field to a
Yeah.
touchdown to John Taylor for the winning touchdown took. I mean, they just took that Super Bowl away from Cincinnati. You know, Cincinnati was the better team.
Yeah, yeah, on paper. Like, but I just felt like the 49ers at that point had a team that was like, they had a really good defense, and so they were going to stay, they were going to be in the game, and then Montana always did enough. He always did enough to get him over the hump. So I just don't think that anybody thought that they were gonna lose that game.
Yeah, and then Brad said 2 rookies corners started in that Super Bowl team. Something that probably will never happen again.
Mm,
And it's true. Uh, uh, we hit on 2 corners.
yeah,
Kind of like what Seattle did with their tackles. They hit 2 tackles on
yeah.
one draft. Uh,
Corner though is really
that's harder.
is
Yeah.
that's real. I don't even know if it's harder, but it's much more rare. I will say that. And then for that other corner to end up being like the great, like what I would say, it's up there. At least he's top two or three top safeties of all time. Yeah, it's much more rare for that.
Yeah, it's football. It's not as I mean, we watch football, we support our Niners now, but to me it seemed to be funner to watch back in the 80s and 90s. Remember the whole rivalry between the Dallas Cowboys and the Niners. It didn't
Hmm.
matter who won a regular season. It was all about the matchup between the Cowboys and the Niners and the NFC Championship. And then after that, it kind of shifted to the Green Bay Packers and Brett Favre uh, against the Niners. Do
Yeah.
you think that it's now shifting to the Niners and Eagles for a while?
Uh, I would say not, because I don't think that the Eagles are going to be there. I think that a lot of people are making a lot about their defensive line, and that they lost a lot of guys
Yep.
this offseason. And I think that they're treating the Eagles just like people treated the Rams after they won the Super Bowl and they lost all those guys. And people are just like thinking that they're bringing in these, just because they brought in guys that everybody liked in the draft, it doesn't mean that they're going to play well.
Like those players that they lost the year
Yeah,
before.
it's not necessarily going to mean, and as good as you think that rookie player is going to be, you don't know until they those live bolts start flying. So it's
And
gonna. I
even if
don't
they're
think it's gonna
great,
be a
you
rivalry.
don't know if they're going to be great the first year. It's not like everybody comes in like Bosa.
Exactly.
You get players that maybe take a year to
Hmm.
develop, and then the second year they come in and they hit the ground running. The potential is there because they got a lot of Georgia. I mean,
But this is the other piece to think about, Veto, is that they didn't just lose players; they lost both coordinators.
yeah.
They lost both coordinators, and and I mean, realistically speaking, they just don't. I don't know. It's really hard when you're coming off of a Super Bowl loss. People don't talk about the Super Bowl loss like curse enough, I feel. Like it happens often that the team that loses the Super Bowl has a really bad year that next year. And it's not every time, but it does happen really often.
More than not,
Yeah.
yeah. The Niners would have been, and I hate to say this now because the damn Giants and that Roger Craig fumble, Lawrence Taylor
Yeah.
recovery, but we were just killing the clock to head on to the Super Bowl for a three-peat. And the Super Bowl is not guaranteed, but there is no way you're going to tell me that we would have lost to Buffalo.
Yeah. No.
No, we would have kicked Buffalo ass,
Yeah,
and
they would have
we would have
destroyed
been the only
Buffalo.
team with a three-peat.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
up, Bebop?
Oh, what's going on, Bebop?
Bebop's another faithful follower. Um, so, Pete, let me ask you: no, other than Joe Montana, who was your favorite non-Niner quarterback?
Non-Niner?
Yeah, non-Niner
Oh, it was
quarterback
Brady.
that
Brady,
has played.
undoubtedly Brady. Like just because I'm a Michigan fan, so it's
Okay,
so yeah. I told it's a funny story, but when he first got his start on the Patriots, and it was complete homerism. Like, but I was telling everybody the moment he got in, I was like, started telling everybody, and I have multiple people that can attest to this. I told everybody it's over. The Patriots are going to win it all because they've got because they've got a Michigan quarterback, and then he kept winning games, and then they got into the playoffs, and I'm just jokingly, I was telling, oh no, they're going to kill, they're going to kill Pittsburgh, they're going to kill, got to get in there against the Rams. I was like, oh no, it's over. Like, and I even broke it down because that defense that they had was so good. So I was really confident that they could defend the Rams at the time. And I said it's going to be an interesting game, and people just gave them no shot at winning. And I said, okay, Brady's going to get it done. You watch. And sure enough, it happened. So, and that from that point forward, I was a Brady guy because
Interesting.
he made me look like a genius.
Tom Brady being that he's a Wolverine.
Yeah,
Um, and he grew up or not too far from here, from where I live in San
yeah,
Mateo. He grew up young. He's a big Niner fan. He was a big Niner fan. Grew
hmm
up a huge Joe Montana fan. Probably had a bobblehead of Joe Montana in his room. And I always tell people this: as a parent, you always want your kid to be better than you, to do
yeah,
better than you. I
hmm
figured if there's a player that can do better than Montana, why not be one that grew up loving Montana, wanting to be like Montana,
true
and
that.
got the opportunity to do so, and played a lot like Montana, because Brady was also known as a clutch guy.
Yeah,
And I just, sixth round, so many teams, bro, passed up on Brady.
yeah,
So many teams, including the Patriots,
yeah,
until the sixth round.
yeah.
Kind of
They
like Brock Purdy, don't you think?
yeah, no, it's very similar now.
No, I'm not.
Uh,
I know.
yeah,
I'm not going there.
yeah, but but yeah,
Well, we
Brady.
don't know that yet with Brock, though. I mean,
No, it's
like
early.
20 years from now, we can be like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's early. Like, and I mean, who knows? The football has surprised us over and over and over again. People that we never thought, who would have been able to call the 49ers being able to get all of these really good players in later rounds, as many as they have, and hit as well. No, nobody could call that. Like, there's no person, and like that they make it a regular thing enough to where people are expecting. They're expecting Daryl Luter to be a beast. They're expecting Cameron Latu and these other guys that they just drafted to eventually contribute and be really good because they were drafted by the 49ers. Like, the 49ers have done this regime and specifically has done a great job.
Yeah.
Uh, with just finding an eye for talent. But no
Minus Solomon
one,
Thomas and Forrest.
yeah, early rounds is the
Forrester.
only problem. It's the early rounds that are the problem, but if it's in the later rounds, I they have
Particularly
they
the fifth round, right?
yeah, fifth round, fourth round, fifth round, sixth round, and now seventh round, like and undrafted guys too. So yeah, like I mean, you can't really, but with Brady, it was even more rare back then for a guy to come in the sixth round from the sixth round and turn out to be what he was.
And beat out a first round quarterback and
Yeah,
Bledsoe.
for the coach to say, I mean, because Drew Bledsoe was proven, and I got into it with somebody on Twitter the other day about that, and they were saying how Trey Lance can't beat out,
Oh,
couldn't beat,
Darnold.
yeah, couldn't beat out. No, they were talking about him beating out Purdy,
Oh,
and
okay.
and I said, well, I mean, it's a different situation. Like, but when have you ever seen guy, an unproven guy, which is what Trey Lance is at this point, an unproven guy get started over a guy that just won eight games, or was
And
it
two
seven
playoff
games
games.
and two playoff games? Like, you don't see that at all. That's not going to happen. So it was Purdy's going to, if he is healthy, he's going to start. Like, I mean, that's just the way it goes. Uh,
Y-
but but he brought up, I think he brought up Wentz, and like, and I said, and what's that guy's name? Foles, Wentz and Foles
Oh, Nick
situation.
Foles.
But Wentz, people forget Wentz was an MVP candidate before Foles took over,
Yep.
so he was proven. And like, it just doesn't happen that way. That's why this situation with Purdy and Lance is just so it's just so unprecedented that we're in uncharted waters, and we really just can't tell what's going to happen.
Yeah,
But
and no fault to Trey Lance, man. A lot of people are
yeah,
like, Trey
it's just
Chance
unfortunate.
he deserves a chance. And it's like they're allowing their feelings to get involved into
Hmm.
this. Listen, I love Trey Lance. I want Trey Lance to be successful. I would have, I'm not saying he still can be successful here, but um, when you see Brock Purdy go out there, seventh round pick, play against Miami the way he did,
Hmm.
play those games during the regular season, win two playoff games. He has the same amount of wins as Dak Prescott in
Yeah.
playoffs
Yeah,
too.
that's crazy.
Yeah, and Dak Prescott's getting paid like a freaking top five quarterback.
Yeah.
So people don't look at that. And nothing against Trey. I'm not saying Trey can't be better than Brock. I'm not saying Trey can't be that superstar. But in a world where you got to win now, what have you done for me lately, world? You got to go with what you're already seeing over of what could be. And
Yeah.
right now, Trey is what could be, and
Hmm.
Purdy is what we've seen already. And if he's healthy, and that's the key question: is he healthy enough, and would he be as good as he was prior to getting hurt? Now, it wasn't the regular. What's the name of that injury? That um,
UCL
yeah, it wasn't that. It was something more simpler. I think I forgot the name of it, but
for who?
Purdy.
For Purdy. He had a bleak injury earlier.
No, no, no. But the elbow injury. There's
Oh, it
two
was
of
UCL.
UCL, but there's the
Yeah.
other one that it could have been much worse,
Oh, the
right?
Tommy John.
Yeah, Tommy John. That's the one.
It's still a UCL injury. It's just it's just the name of the surgery, really. Like
But
that
I
he
heard
has to
that the
have
Tommy
Tommy
John is
John's.
a little harder to come back from, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Like
Uh,
because it's a reconstruction instead of a repair.
yeah, and sometimes when you repair, you can kind of keep what you have. It just, it doesn't. It's just not a complete tear. So,
Yeah.
um, and a Tommy John is a complete tear, so they have to replace the whole everything, and you don't
Hmm.
know what to expect. So if Brock Purdy's ready, I just don't see why Kyle would go with Trey. Even if Trey has the most upside, it's you got to win now. You got to
Yeah.
start hot.
Yeah. This is the NFL. This is the NFL. This isn't Madden.
And what
This
does the
isn't
NFL stand for? Not for
Yeah,
long.
not for long. But this is the NFL. This is not Madden. This is not your franchise team.
Yeah,
These are the people's jobs and careers and legacies are on the line every single season. So it's not just like when you can't just sit there and say, "Oh well, we're willing to give up a couple games to start Trey." Like, no, you need to start off. I'm sure that they want to start off hot. They've started off cold the last what 2 or 3 seasons,
yeah.
and like they want to start. I'm sure Kyle wants to start off hot. And so, of course, he wants Purdy to be able to start at the week one because he's the guy that he is most comfortable calling a game plan for. Like and I thought it was really interesting. I don't know if you watched the or heard the Jennifer Lee Chan and Matt Mayoko podcast, Niner Talk that they had, but Jennifer Lee Chan interviewed. They were talking about how from what everything that they've heard, the team feels stronger about Trey Lance than they did even the year prior. They know that how good he is. They think he's better than he what looked last year. But at the same time, this offense has never ran as smoothly under Shanny as it has when Brock Purdy was running it. So it is what it is. Like you can't just say, and that's to Kyle's credit, in my opinion, the fact that he wouldn't just make the switch because a lot of teams might make that switch because of what they gave up to get Trey. I think I can
Yeah, they'll feel
remember,
pressured
yeah,
to stick
because
with him.
think about the Buffalo Bills when they and well, it hasn't been recently, but think about the Buffalo Bills back when they had Doug Flutie and they were winning games into the playoffs. They won a playoff game. They felt the pressure to put Rob Johnson in the middle of the playoffs to go ahead and start him because hey, we gave up all this. he was our big drafted quarterback, and he's supposed to have this big arm, and they lost.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you just don't do that. You don't do that when your team is used to a certain quarterback and they're winning games and they have the confidence in that one guy. It's almost a no brainer at that point.
Yeah. And the thing about Brock, and I'm not saying Trey can do it, but
Yeah,
the thing about Brock, he was able to come in and it didn't, there was no drop off from Jimmy G. Now, people may
none.
not like Jimmy G. People are like, oh, Jimmy G, this. And Jimmy G was a good quarterback.
Hmm.
He won a lot of games. Well, did he make did he make mistakes to make you scratch your head? Absolutely. Jimmy was he afraid to throw down the field? Yes, he reminded me a lot of Alex Smith, where he didn't want to throw in tight windows. One thing I like about Brock, he's a gunslinger. He throws it. He throws it. He's confident, in his ability to get the ball down the field. So, it's to me, Brock Purdy is like 2.0 of Jimmy G, and people are like, wow, oh my goodness, Jimmy compared to. I'm like, we were winning a Super Bowl. Did we win it? No, but we made it
Yeah.
with Jimmy G. Um, Trey might be that guy with a strong arm. He might be that guy that can run the ball and throw the ball and everything while we drafted him. But I find one thing I know about Kyle, Pete, is he loves a quarterback that sits in the pocket, that only runs if he has to, but he wants to, because plays develop
Hmm.
if you stick in the pocket. If you take off running and a youth becomes open, you're not going to see him anymore because you're taking off running. You can't have uh, antsy feet. You got to sit there and look,
Hmm.
go through your progressions. And that's one thing Brock brings to the table. He'll sit there and look. And, I wanted Trey to be drafted to the Niners. I wanted him over Fields. I still like him over Fields. Mac Jones, I wouldn't even mention him. But Brock Purdy showed me enough to sit there and go, wow, we can
I,
win with this kid. We can win a Super Bowl. This whole he has a noodle arm. He can't throw deep. Blah blah blah. With this type of scheme, you don't gotta go deep, Pete.
yeah. It might be a controversial take on the show. I don't know how the chat's gonna react, but I wanted Mac. Like, in the
Oh
when
shit!
I didn't want to trade up. I thought it was a mistake that they traded up and from the
Oh, you
beginning.
wanted Matt only
I wanted
because
them to
Matt would have
stay
been
at
there by
12.
then.
Yeah, I wanted them to stay at 12 and take Mac. That's what I wanted because I thought he was a perfect fit for Kyle's offense. And and yeah, you can go back in the tweets and look. Like, it's all in there. The But at the same, I was a really pro Mac guy, and I still think that he would have probably been the best choice for the 49ers. And they would have never given up those first round picks. But I digress. When they moved up, I knew that was no longer an option. And I assumed that they were going to pick Fields, but at the same time, because what everybody said about Trey Lance is if they took Trey Lance, it would be unprecedented for them to take a guy that had so little experience. And yeah, I just assumed it was going to be Fields. But yeah, it wasn't, and it was Trey, and I was happy because I'm never going to be confident in an Ohio State quarterback. I'm just never going to
Yeah,
be
I'm the same
like
way
a
with USC quarterbacks.
yeah. So it's and I mean you can go back as far as you want to. I don't know what Ohio State quarterback really did anything in the league, and it's there's many reasons why, but I like I'd like to say as a Michigan fan, it's just because they're Ohio State, they're cursed.
Yeah, well, Michigan fans don't like Ohio
Yeah. But yeah,
whatsoever.
nobody wanted all the 49er fans were like, I don't want Mac Jones. Okay. Like, do you think question, and this is we're gonna go all the way down the rabbit hole. Like, do you think that Mac Jones beats out Jimmy G year one in camp?
It's hard to say, Pete. It's really hard to say
Because he
because
beat
right now,
out he beat out Cam Newton.
oh my God, but Cam Newton, come on, bro. Cam Newton can beat himself.
I
He's
just think
he's not Jimmy G is way better than Cam Newton by that time.
I just think that Jimmy or like didn't Mac make a Pro Bowl that season, his rookie season,
And what has he done? What did he do year two
and
when
that was in
people
a
figured him
crappy
out?
offense. That was in a crappy offense.
But once
Like
people
I just
figured
think
him
with
out, what has he
Shanny,
done?
I just think with Shanny being the guy calling the plays and him having all the weapons around him, like I think I mean he made a Pro Bowl with nothing around him in New England. Like I think that he might have been a good fit for the Shanny offense. Like, but
So why did he go with Trey Lance then? Or do you
well,
think
they
that was
traded
more
up.
of you think that
They
was
trade.
more of a John Lynch move?
No, I don't think. I think that they fell in love with Trey Lance's moldability, like the fact that I think the less experience that the least amount of experience that Trey Lance had, I think that was better for Shanny. Shanny thought it was better because he got to mold him exactly the way he wanted him, and then also he had traits that Mac Jones doesn't have. Like he has a stronger arm. He has uh, he can run, and like he was more athletic. I think that he was thinking about 11-on-11 football at the time, and that's why he took Lance.
Yeah.
But but yeah,
Young might be an outlier, but I don't think Alabama produces good quarterbacks either.
not yeah, not usually, but Mac Jones was the best out of all of them. And the way he played, I thought it was a perfect fit for Shanny's offense because we don't look at quarterbacks. Look at the quarterbacks that have done well in Shanny's offense. It's not your typical quarterback that you would want on your team. And like I think that that's what gets people caught up in like oh this guy sucks and it's not about how great they are and how, all the tangible stuff like arm strength and everything. It's about how they fit and like and I feel like anticipation with his throws, like just being able to read a defense. That's the stuff that works well in a Kyle offense.
So we had a if we had a redo a real do over, as they say in the draft, do you think Kyle would now take Mac Jones?
No, I think he would have done it the same way he did it because that's Kyle's ego. I
His
think he would have
ego
done it.
over everything.
Yeah, I think he never overthinks. Like he wanted what he wanted, and he's going to make excuses why it was always the right thing to do. And it's just football. It's just football, and he's right at a certain point. Like there's a lot of things that were completely out of his control, out of Lance's control. And I mean, Lance just got hurt, unfortunately. But then they also lucked up into Brock Purdy. And now here we are. We've got a guy that's running the offense really well. There's really not a point to even thinking back to that year because the reality is that they've been in the last two out of three NFC championships game, and they've been to three out of four the last four. So, I mean, has it really hurt them? Is the question.
Yeah, and a lot of people like to say, "Well, the Niners gave up three number ones." When in reality, they only gave up two. I don't know why they come up with
Yeah,
the three.
it was a
It
pick
was a
swap.
swap.
Yeah, it
We
was.
still took a player, so it was really two that we gave up and
Yeah.
a third round pick
Hmm.
for Trey. And a lot of people are like, that's too much of an investment uh, to give up on it. But I'm like, if Brock Purdy becomes the man and you win multiple Super Bowls with him, at this point, if I said that we took Brock and we moved up to get him and we took Trey in the seventh round, you wouldn't be disappointed, would you? If we win multiple Super Bowls with Brock?
No, no, absolutely not. Like, why would you be? We're 49er fans at the end of it all.
You would think we are. But a
Yeah.
lot of people, I heard one guy, and I said this on my show the other day, they told me, so we were talking about Sam Darnold and Trey Lance, and it's like, I'd rather lose a Super Bowl
Oh my
with
god.
Trey Lance than win a Super Bowl with Sam Darnold.
Well, I mean, then don't come to the parade.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
don't come. You're not invited to the cookout.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like, your preference quarterback is Trey Lance, and you love Trey Lance. Nothing wrong with supporting Trey Lance.
Yeah,
No, nothing wrong with wishing he was the one that lifts the Lombardi Trophy. But at the end, like my tattoo, it's the name on the front, not the name on the back. And so,
exactly.
ideally, if you're a Trey fan, you want your quarterback to be the one that is the franchise quarterback. Why
Hmm.
not? But at the end of the day, if it winds up to be, and I'm not saying it's going to be, but if it winds up being Sam Donald, but we win championships, I don't care how we got there. I don't care if Sam Donald was great, I was terrible at one point. If as long as we win with Sam Donald, Brock Purdy, or Trey Lance, or even Brandon Allen, and I know I'm going a little bit far down the rabbit hole, but my point is really simple.
Yeah,
Whatever quarterback gives us the best chance to win is the one that I'm supporting. I had fans tell me, "Okay, Niners sickness, I knew you like Trey, but now you're all about Brock Purdy. If Trey Lance becomes that quarterback, I don't want to hear shit from you." I'm like, I never said I disliked or hated Trey.
yeah,
I'm rooting for Brock because I like what I saw. If Trey Lance can come into training camp, Pete, and tear up training camp, and he plays off in preseason and looks really good, and flat out just outbeats Brock, I'm supporting my I'm putting on my Trey Lance jersey.
hmm.
I'm not being a two-time or two-face.
And he
I
got a
got
jersey
Brock's
for
I got
everybody.
Brock's Purdy jersey and I got Trey's.
Yeah,
Wherever's the starting quarterback, that's the jersey I'm sporting
yeah,
because they're both on my team. You're not
exactly.
seeing me buy no uh uh Dak Prescott jersey. You're not seeing
Mm.
me buy no um the kid over there with the Chargers. Um
Oh, uh,
I can't think of his name, but
yeah. I just blanked on it right now. Chargers.
you don't see me wearing his jersey. I'm supporting whatever quarterback we have behind center.
Hmm.
If it's Trey, hey, then the trades we gave up to get him are worth it. If it's Brock, let's rock with Brock. If it's Sam Donald and he's not making boneheads and he's learned from because he has better surrounding cast around him. Because if you think about Sam Donald, whether you believe him or not, and I'm talking to everyone in the chat, is
Herbert.
this
Somebody said,
Yeah, Justin Herbert.
"Jeez."
He's that now I cannot believe Miami passed him up for
For well, I mean,
uh
everybody was tanking for Tua. Remember, like,
yeah.
so I mean, I can believe it because they had already identified that Tua was the guy, and I thought it was weird because he couldn't stay healthy in college, and but yeah, it was what it was.
Yep. You couldn't yeah, and then Justin Herbert just really came in and just took the league by storm. Great arm,
Yeah.
height, strength. I mean, he's my pro.
Well,
I'm a Clemson Tiger
they
fan.
thought he was a project though. Herbert
They
when
did,
he was
and he
coming out,
was
he they thought he was a
kind of
project because like he was because that offense that he was running in Oregon, right? Like yeah,
Oregon.
it's like the offense he was running in Oregon was not pro style.
No,
And like so people were assuming that it was going to take time.
what's up, John V?
Oh, what's
What's
going
up,
on, John?
Joey?
Appreciate you coming through.
We got Joe E in the house. We got John V in the house. What's up, brother?
Appreciate
Yeah,
you.
man. I'm like I said, I'm a big Clemson Tiger fan. Uh, Go Tigers. Uh, my boy over there in Jacksonville. I don't like to say his name anymore because he's in Jacksonville.
Trevor
But he's
Lawrence.
tearing it up and he's starting to show that he has that capability to be great quarterback. He's already at top 5
Yeah,
or at least top 10
yeah, I would say
for
top 10
sure.
for sure. Like top 5 is a little like I get it. He played really well in the he won a playoff game, but yeah. I think that it was when they
I'll say
found
his
a
name. I'll say his name, people. Trevor
yeah,
Lawrence.
like the fact that he got a coach, they got rid of that the and once again it goes back to Ohio State. Like like when they got rid of what's his name? I can't even speak his name. Like the coach that they had, his Trevor Lawrence's first year.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it was a
Omar
dumpster. Yeah,
Meyer,
Meyer, like Brent. Yeah, but whatever his first
Irvin
Urban
Meyer.
Meyer.
I can't think of his first
Like
name.
when
Yeah.
Urban Meyer was there, it was a dumpster fire, and the kid didn't even really have a chance, and people were calling him a bust already. They were starting to at least, and then they got him a coach in Doug Peterson. Like, and I venture to say good coach because I mean Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl, but he got kind of ran out of the Eagles, ran out of Philadelphia. But yeah, he was still a solid coach, and he was already been known as a good quarterback guy. So bringing him in and just simplifying things for Trevor Lawrence, and they brought him in a couple of weapons, and I mean, proof is in the pudding. And then you bring in Jermichael Hasty, and it was a wrap.
Look what I bought. I got Dina Harvey
Oh, nice.
a Yeti microphone.
Oh, nice.
This is going to be going out to you. I'm just waiting for the headset, and it's going to go out for Dina because she started her new show with the Niner Empire, the ladies of the
Okay.
Empire. So we got to make sure she's coming in clear. Her voice and her, so we hit and I sold some. I was raising some money in some patches, and some people donated. So we went and got her this microphone. So for her to enjoy. Oh no, not another one. Two of you in the
That's
same
right. Go blue,
room?
baby. All day,
Yeah,
every
go
day.
right out the door. Get out
Go
of here.
blue.
Bye. Go blue.
Don't hate.
Uh, no, I don't hate. I don't hate the Wolverines. I hate Alabama
Oh
more.
yeah, no, I can't. I can't with Alabama. Even though I do like their
Sabian.
head, I have respect for their head coach.
Nick Sabian. I mean, he's a great college coach because he can handle those young kids
Hmm.
better than he can have full grown men that are getting more money than
Yeah,
he
he
is.
had one season. It was like, nah, nah, I can't.
Yeah, what's his name? I'm trying to think of the defensive end for the Miami Dolphins. What was his name? Taylor?
Oh, Jason Taylor.
So, Jason Taylor was not having it,
Yeah,
bro. He's like, dude, you don't make more money than me. Shut up.
yeah, that's true. Like, but
Don't be coming with your college, garbage over here. And he couldn't. He left Miami half season, bro.
yeah,
He just left him hanging.
yeah. Well, I mean, this is the thing with pro. The difference between pros and college is college. You're dealing with kids, and kids are more susceptible. Like they're more okay when you're not making any when no money is involved. Like it's much easier to influence kids and make them listen, like to what you're teaching, especially when you're winning. Like, but when you're in the pros, everybody getting paid, and
Yep.
now you've got to think of ways. You got to come up with different alternative ways to motivate grown men, and like because the whole rah rah thing is only going to get you so far. Like that's not going to work in the pros because it's about their money. It's about keeping them healthy. It's about dealing with all those different personalities that you've got on the team. So I mean, if you can be a pro coach and if you can win at that on a consistent basis, it really speaks to how good you are as a people person and how good you are as a motivator. Because that's why I marvel and that's why I say that I would never want anybody but Shanny as our coach right now. I don't see
I
any
hear you.
any alternatives out there that I would want over Shanny is because he does a great job of setting their culture.
Real quick, I just want to welcome my boy Dave. He's a big Vikings fan. He has his Viking podcast. Great guy. Dave, welcome to the show, my friend. Always a pleasure having you here. And John is just cracking me up, bro.
Yeah.
I'm hiding from my wife so that I can listen to you fellas because his wife wants him to put. He's doing the dishes. And he's supposed to take the dishes out of of
That's
the
how good you are,
dishwasher.
Beto. Like
No, no,
he's
it's me. It's you,
gotta
bro.
he gotta see it.
And Dina Harvey says the Ohio
Yeah,
State.
okay.
Ooh, we got Ohio
The
State
Ohio
fan.
State criminals.
And easy killer. Um, I'm excited about this season, bro. We're 20 days away from training camp. I know that between the last mini camp to training camp is there's nothing happening, bro. There's no trades, there's no this, there's no that, and we're trying to pull a rabbit out of our ass to try to come up with a podcast. But once training camp starts, bro, this is where our channel, this show, your shows, my shows on my own are going to take off because we're going to have so much material to talk about. We're going to, you know, talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly in training camp. And I don't know about you, Pete, but I like to speak the way I see it.
Mhm.
I'll give a player props, but I'll criticize another
Mhm.
one. I don't care if you're Debo, you can be McCaffrey. I'll criticize you if you deserve to be criticized, but I'll definitely give you props. Are you in the same boat,
Oh,
bro, where you speak what you see?
so if anybody's watched my show, it is you would know that Daddy's not going to give you what you want. Daddy's going to give you what you need. And I'm going to tell you
Ándale.
exactly how I feel 100% of the time. It's not going to be it's not going to be a lot of fluff and I don't care how it's not that I don't care, but I don't let outside sources kind of shape the way that I think. Like I watch the games over and over and over again, and you can't get me on narratives. Like I don't follow narratives. I just like to talk about the game the way I see it and the way uh, body language. You know,
Yeah, I think he deals with a lot of prostitutes there, John. The way that Pete said that,
hey, hey,
you know,
hey,
the way he phrased that word, it sounded like he was talking to those young ladies that charge
yeah,
money.
I don't pay. No,
Oh,
sir.
no. Oh, look at daddy over here. Oh my goodness. The way you said that, bro, I'm like, okay, look at this guy over here. But John V is a big Ohio fan, right?
Oh yeah, no. Well, I mean, he's in the town, right?
Yeah, yeah, he's a big Ohio State fan.
Yeah, I get.
And then you're a big Michigan fan, so
Yeah,
that's
it's
funny. You do have the better coach, though.
yeah. Like right now, I think that I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like I'm not a big, huge
Yep.
Harbaugh guy. Like it's he's good enough to get you there, but
But never get you over
but
the
yeah, you
promised
just
land.
never because he's a big rah rah guy, and that
So you don't want a Moses, you want a
yeah,
Joshua.
I want a guy that is going to be able to make the quarterback better than what he was when he got there. And that's something that we do not see at all. He does not develop quarterbacks at all. They just like to run the ball, and the quarterback is just a secondary afterthought. His passing game was always terrible, even when he was the 49ers coach. Like he's a run guy, and which is fine. I like the physical nature, but eventually you're going to have to throw the ball. And in college, it's even in college now, you have to be able to throw the ball. And yeah, unfortunately, he still hasn't figured
So you're telling me he's more of a runner than a
yeah.
thrower?
It's funny because he's a quarterback. Like he was a quarterback, but he cannot develop quarterbacks.
Ryan Days. Yeah, well, uh, we were. Now you gotta highlight that were. We were literally in the national championship game. But I'm not listen, I have nothing against Ohio or Michigan. As long me, being a Clemson Tiger, I rather not watch Alabama and Savion lift any more trophies. So when I see them go down, um, or LSU, uh, you know what I mean. So, um, but I love the battles between you guys. You guys
Yes.
always have great
I don't care what
games,
anybody
and
says. Best college rivalry in football. I mean, everybody gets up for that game every single year.
yeah. What's the record? Who has the most wins amongst each other?
I think that ooh, that's a good question. Because they had beaten us so many times in a row after a while that I think Harbaugh beat him for like the first time in forever. I think I think they're like 1 or 2 games in front of us now. Like, but because we had such a lead for so long, and then they went so many years of beating us that it was a long time. Ohio State's been pretty consistent.
Yeah, he said Michigan does.
Is it
right now,
Michigan?
John.
It's close then because they went like I want to say it was a lot of years straight. Oh, 60-51. It's getting closer. But Michigan used to be dominating that matchup, and I think they went like a full like decade and decade and a half without winning. Like
According to John, it said his fifth is 60 to 51. I thought you were saying 5150. I'm like, oh, okay, but no, not 5150. 60-51. So we caught up a ton.
oh yeah,
You can't say the same thing for the Rams. They still haven't caught up to the Niners.
yeah, no kid. I mean, that's never going to happen. I just don't see them get ever closing that gap.
No, it's the Rams are, okay, 60-51 and 6.
How do you have 6 ties?
6 ties. That's crazy. That is crazy. What's up, John? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, man, it's sorry ass lambs. They're the same sorry ass lamb. Rudy's a big Rams fan, and he's a little delusional, big delusional guy. I was watching the show the other day. Sometimes, and I can only watch so much. I can only watch like 2 minutes because I want to shoot myself afterwards. He's talking about that with all these draft picks and the free agents they picked up, they might have an opportunity to win the division this year. And he thinks they're gonna beat Seattle twice. And I'm like, where does he get this stuff from?
I mean,
you lost. I mean, you lost Ramsey, a top 5 corner, and you picked up Akulo, and that's how I like to call him, Akulo Witherspoon, because he sucks like ass. So Akulo, and then you expect to be better. You lose Floyd. So now, even if Aaron Donald's a great pass rusher, he's the only one. All you got to do is put 2 people on him. He's done. Yeah. You lost your linebacker. He can only handle 1 year of the Rams. He went back to Seattle. You lost another corner. They lost a bunch of. They lost
it's
the one
be
receiver they brought in, Allen, for 1 year, and now he's gone after a year.
He was terrible anyway.
And there's like, I forgot how much. That's a lot of dead money for him.
Well, I had a guy on my show last week? Like I'm pretty sure he's a Ram fan. Shout out to Monty. I had him on the show, and we were talking about and I think that this was a calculated move by the Rams to take all these dead money hits this year and take it all at once and just go scorched earth. And then next year they're gonna have they're gonna have almost 60 mil of cap space at the end of this year. After all these dead money hits. So I mean, and how they do, they're gonna get some big names in there at that point, and then they've got their draft picks. So it's entirely possible that they're back in the mix by as early as next season. But it's not going to be this season. It's not going to be this season. This season, it's going to be terrible.
The Rams are not going to be in contention.
No. I think they're going to lose on purpose.
But they're not going to be. They're not going to compete until they're going to go 3 or 4 years without making the playoffs. You think?
Bro. Okay.
Easy. They're not going to. Matthew Stafford's going to win enough games this year to get him out of the. Because that kid coming out of college, the quarterback, I forgot his name. Yeah, that guy's whoever gets him, people are going to be competing.
There's like 3.
Who's going to be the?
There's like 3 quarterbacks that are coming out this coming year that are that they're always excited about 3 or 4 guys before the season starts. As the season goes, then we'll see, guys will
They
fall
start
off.
either falling
Yeah,
or moving up the depth chart,
exactly.
or the ones who don't even think of start moving up.
Exactly. Oh, what's going on, Brian?
But with that said, what's up, Bryant? How you doing, sir? Brian Cope's in the house. So I was texting the wife because she was on the phone because she wants to go visit her grandma. Her grandma's been ill. She's in I guess early stages of
Oh,
Alzheimer's.
sorry to hear that.
So they go, yeah. So they released her from the hospital and they put her on hospice. So we're gonna go visit her. So I'm gonna jump off of here, man. We've been on here for a little bit over an hour. It's been fun. You can catch us every week on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. on both of our channels. And make sure to give us a subscribe and like on both channels for us on the Fanatic Niners Fanatic podcast and the Niner Sickness podcast. Make sure to support both of us. We'll continue to bring you content each and every week. We enjoy you guys. And just to let you know, we had a contest between me and my boy. He was the goal team.
It wasn't really a contest.
I was the red team. And, I had Steve Young. He had Jeff Garcia, but I blew the doors off of this young man right here. So,
Yeah, it is what it is.
But we're going to have to do that. I was going to say pick a Super Bowl, but we went no longer than I thought. So we'll do that next week for sure. But it's a blessing. Everybody that showed up, thank you for showing up in the
Make
chat.
sure you tell a friend to tell a friend,
guys.
so we can be friends every day, every week.
There you go. Say it one more time, bro.
Yeah, make sure that you tell a friend to tell a friend, so we can be friends every day. We can do this every week.
Every week, baby. Every week. So thank you guys for showing up. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy your Wednesday. And we'll see you here next Wednesday at 6 p.m.